Hi, I'm Sanjeev. Welcome to another video on F1 visa interview series. As you have clicked on this video, you're probably preparing for your visa interview, and I know you might always have this question like, how am I going to convince the visa officer? Or what exactly they are looking for? Today, I'm going to share the perspective of a visa officer towards an applicant. And hold on, you might be thinking, why should you listen to me? Or how am I the right person to advise you on this matter? That's because I have attended a number of visa info sessions with different visa officers, both physically and online. And I have gained their insights on this matter, like how they judge an applicant. And most importantly, I have applied these tactics myself and got my visa approved recently. And yeah, by the way, I have shared my visa interview experience on this channel. So if you want to know how my interview went or what conversation I had with the visa officer, you can check that out. So without further delay, let's first start with the biggest red flag in the visa interview. So the red flag that I'm talking about is giving general or common answers. Now think it for yourself. Visa officers deal with hundreds of applicants in a day, and what they hear is same answer from everyone, like flexible course curriculum, quality education, or modern facilities and research labs. That's what everybody says. Do you think they're gonna like it? Definitely not. So tip number one is your answer must be unique and very personal to yourself for visa officers to believe you. And once they start believing you, you take control of the conversation. Okay, let's take an example. If you're being asked, why did you choose this university? You need to find something that your university provides while others don't. For example, there might be a unique program, event, or organization that your university provides and that benefits you as a student. Like it might provide you research and networking opportunities, or it might give you a platform to showcase your project to an audience, or the university's location might be favorable to your course. And it helps you build the leadership skills, coding skills, or whatever skills that your major requires. And remember to name those skills. Don't just say skills. Say which particular skills you will learn. Remember that the goal is to give a reason that is meaningful to your major, and it should be something that visa officers don't hear frequently. If you research properly either through university's website, ChatGPT, or even ask someone from the same university, you will definitely find a unique idea to talk about. And that's 1,000 times better than saying I chose this university because of its modern facilities or quality education. And I'm thinking about making a detailed video on how to get ideas to make unique answers for most frequently asked questions in the interview. Like why this university or why this major, plans after graduation, and so on. And also tackle every cross questions that can be asked for those questions. I have two best resources for that. I used them myself and they worked really well for me. And believe me, that works for all of you for any major or any university. So let me know in the comments if you guys need it. And if I get good response in this video, I will definitely make that video by next week. So subscribe to the channel and you will be notified when I upload that video. Okay, let's continue with tip number 2. And that is fulfilling at least one of these criteria in your answer to make a good impact. Number 1, strong home ties. You need to convince visa officer that you will return back to your home country after your graduation. Like I mentioned my dad's business in most of my answers and also on my DS-160. And that is how visa officers believed me. Number 2, that you are financially stable. You need to make visa officer believe that you can afford your education throughout your answer. Like you can show your parents' income or properties that you have. And number 3, that you are a genuine student, which means you're going there just to study and working is not your primary concern. Also remember that the more you research, better are the chances that you can deal with cross questions that visa officers ask. So your number 1 priority should be research. So this was about answering the questions. Now let's talk about how you deliver your answers, which leads us to tip number 3. While explaining your answers, there are 4 things you should always do. And that is, number 1, your voice must be loud. Even if you are an introvert, you need to practice to speak loud. Number 2 is smile. And this is the most underrated one. Remember that you are communicating with the visa officer and everybody likes a person who smiles while speaking. Number 3 is eye contact. That is to show that you are confident and genuine with your answers. You need to maintain eye contact with visa officer throughout your interview. Number 4 is that your body posture and hand gesture. Like I mentioned in my last video, I saw so many people who were keeping their hands back or on the counter desk while speaking. And that's what you need to avoid. So have a straight body posture, shoulders back, chest up, and use your hands in the air and then explain your answers. This makes 10 times better impression on the visa officer or anyone you're talking to. So tip number 4, practice speaking in front of mirror daily using these 3 things that I just talked about. And you want to know why mirror practicing is so effective? That's because in your visa interview counter, there will be a glass between you and the visa officer. And in that glass, you will see your own reflection. So you will feel a lot more comfortable while speaking if you take mirror mock every day. And also, you can ask others to take your mock interview. I personally took mock with the people that I met in the Telegram group, and also they gave me advice on how I can improve. I also used to take face-to-face mock with my friends, which helped me a lot to face the real interview. So, tip number 5, practice speaking in English regularly. So, instead of just continuously preparing for each and every question that can be asked, what I used to do was, I used to have a conversation in English regularly with people at Telegram, not just about visa interview, but about any topic like college application, weather, or any topic of my choice. And this helped me a lot to improve my fluency. So yeah, I recommend you to do the same. And also in the spare time, I used to watch English series, which also played a great role to improve my English. And if you want me to recommend a series for you, it would be Suits. This one is mind-blowing. Not only this series helps you improve your English, but also it gives you the confidence to deal with people in the real world. And that's what it is all about. So, tip number 6, DS160 is everything. I've seen a lot of rejections just due to DS160 mistakes. So, take your time and fill it properly. And your answers in the interview must be consistent with your DS160. Like if you had a gap year, or if your visa was refused last time, explain it properly in the DS and answer the same when you are asked about it in the interview. In my case, I had almost 2 years gap, and in my DS160, I mentioned that I did IELTS, SAT, research on Nepal's stock market, and also got business exposure from my dad's business. And the important part is that all of this was relevant to my major. So while explaining your gap year, make sure you mention everything that benefits you in your higher studies. You can find a lot of videos in the YouTube that will guide you on how to fill DS160 properly. So better check them out and clear this part early. And I want to say that if you become really nervous or you go blank when visa officer asks you a question, admit that and say, I'm sorry, I'm really nervous since this is my first interview. And I'm sure visa officer will give you a moment to take a breath and then answer the question. Or he might even ask you a different question after that. I have seen people doing this and it turned out well for them. But remember not to keep staying blank, because that is taking you nowhere. And at last, remember to go to the bathroom and the mirror technique I talked about last time. Look yourself in the bathroom's mirror before going to the interview and then motivate yourself and share some positive affirmations. That's a must do in my opinion to manage the nervousness. So yeah, I will also leave some more important tips in the comment section. Also in the description of this video, I will leave link to some YouTube channels and visa officer sessions from Telegram that helped me a lot in my visa interview preparation. So remember to check that out. And if you guys have any question about visa interview, do ask me in the comment section. I'll try to answer all of them. If you found this video helpful, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel so that you will be notified when I upload my next video. So all the best for your visa interview, and I will see you in the next one.